afternoon, everybody. My name is Dave Sweet, the founder of Whiskey and Barrel Night, and I'm here with TJ and Drew today. We're going to bring you a virtual Whiskey and Barrel Night, and what we've done for the last few years, we have a signature bourbon cream chicken dish that we have had the pleasure of doing from coast to coast. And it's a very basic, very simple recipe we're going to have up on the website in a little bit. And what we've always done is paired it with one of our host bourbons. And this time we did a little bit of Breckenridge in the bourbon. And I know the way Barb is, so yep, I'm sure we're going to definitely need just a little touch more bourbon in that, especially since we're all doing this from home. So, you know, the recipe calls for a small amount of bourbon, but like I tell all the chefs when we do this and all the events, when you think you have just the right amount of bourbon, add a little bit more. So anyway, so this is our bourbon chicken dish. And then we're going to talk about pairing, but having fun. So getting a different whiskey that'll match with it. And that's what Whiskey and Barrel Night is all about, is having fun, doing something a little bit different. So what normally I would do would get a nice, rich, full flavored whiskey. Here we're going to do some Michter's sour mash and pair that with the chicken. And this has got a nice heavy cream sauce. Definitely. Definitely that little extra bit of bourbon absolutely makes it. And then I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to try a little bit off the beaten path a little bit and go to a scotch, something light, something smooth, but very rich. So we're going to do the Belle Blair. That happens to be the one that's laying around, and we don't skimp when it comes to scotch in this house. So we're going to take our bourbon chicken, and I'm going to add just a little bit of Belle Blair. And again, what Whiskey and Barrel Night is all about is having fun. And then what TJ's going to do is he's going to match up a cocktail for us as I'm sitting here and enjoying the scotch and our bourbon chicken. Nothing wrong with East meets West. And then TJ's going to have a cocktail match up with our classic dish. And then Drew is going to come in and he's going to turn everything on its side. And Drew is going to take some Alabama flavor and some Alabama taste and back from his professional chef days and bring a little bit of culture to New York for the next time that we're there in New York. And for our Tampa folks,
just had a barbecue.
There you go. And for our Tampa folks, make them feel just at home with our new bourbon chicken dish. So Drew's going to put a barbecue twist on Barb's old recipe. So with that, TJ, what do you have for us for cocktails?
All right. Well, welcome to my speakeasy at home, boys. Can't wait till we can all congregate again, right? For my little cocktail that I'm mixing up for today, I thought with the savory that you got, Dave, with that nice creamy chicken that I can't enjoy because I'm stuck here in my kitchen in New York. Oh, I am jealous. I'm doing a whiskey smash. So I've got all the ingredients right in here. So traditional whiskey smash, you muddle some lemons, some Angostura bitters, some sugar, and the whiskey. Shake it up with some mint. Boom. So I've already added everything but the ice, which I'm going to throw in there. And there we go.
So you were like an extra for Tom Cruise in cocktails then, is that right, TJ?
Oh.
A little risky business going on as well.
Very risky, very risky. I also threw a couple of blueberries in, or blackberries in here. And let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks coming out nice and pink and summery looking, nice and refreshing. And I'm going to top that off with just one lone solitary mint leaf after I open it up.
Slap that me.
Boom! And I don't know if this is coming over my camera, but I've got a little Kentucky Derby themed poker there, as well. So, cheers, guys. That's what I got going on. I think
that looks fantastic.
Over there, Dave.
We definitely, next Whiskey and Barrel Night, no matter where we are, when we are, we're obviously playing this all by ear. Yeah, you're doing one of those. At least one.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Barb, you're on your own.
I'll put you first in line. Put you first in line. So I don't know. What do you think with this pair pretty well with what you got going on in your kitchen?
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I
and
think
just
so.
to follow back around on that scotch, on that Bel Blair, oh man,
How's
what
that
a
working out?
great flavor combination on the cream chicken. So now I'm going to keep these two handy, hopefully not covering up the bottles too much. This is a regular bourbon barrel, so it's top's a little wavy. So Drew, what are you going to do to this recipe? We always tell the chefs at all the shows to have fun. We give them a base recipe, like I said, we'll have it up on the website, but we always tell them to make it their own. And some are better than others. The worst one we ever had was fantastic. So now, Drew, what are you going to do? Because you're saying that you're going to take this and put it on its side.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in New York, but I'm a country boy at heart. I grew up in Alabama, so thought I would do is pretty much in keeping with the heavy cream and kind of the richness of the dish. But I want to with some white Alabama barbecue sauce. In a couple of minutes, I'll get into how that's made. And pair it with the chicken, which is really nice. And it's just delicious, and it's also the summertime. We're coming out of our winter shows. It's starting to warm up a little bit. And I just thought this might be fun. And it's something you can do. And we'll get into this more in a second. This recipe can be done on the grill. It can be done in the oven. It can be done in the smoker, whatever. So it's pretty versatile. And, at the end of the day, like I just said, I got to show Yankees how to barbecue. That's it.
So what I did was I challenged Drew to change this recipe up. Like I said, we've had this done for the last 4 or 5 years across the country, Canada. The chefs have really had fun with it, but it's always stuck too. So Drew's going to throw that little bit of barbecue into it. He's going to challenge us to match something up to it. So TJ, you're going to have to put a cocktail together. Drew, is it going to be a little bit more spicy barbecue or a little bit more on the tomato-based side? Where do I have to go with the whiskey?
It's going to have some spice to it for sure. It's going to have some absolute spice to it. It's going to have some cayenne in there, some horseradish sauce in there. Of course, going to dump a lot of bourbon in there. And probably what I have out, I'll probably take some from this glass and take it up to the next level as well. But as far as the pairings go, it's got a lot of cayenne. It does have some bourbon, and it's also kind of rich as well. So it should be pretty easy for a cocktail, something nice for the summertime.
Drew, you put that together. I've got 1 or 2 whiskeys I'm gonna choose from, and TJ, you start thinking about what cocktail you're gonna do, and Drew, tell us what you're doing there with our old-fashioned chicken recipe. You're putting a new twist on.
Sounds great. So this is really easy, guys. And all these recipes, by the way, are right on the website. So what is and was not and everything. But have a look and keep in mind this is super versatile. So I've got a piece of chicken here that I just did in the oven because of these times we have to stay inside. I figured that would be easier. So we're just gonna the dry rub recipe is getting on the website. We're just gonna give it a quick slice. Really gorgeous. You do. Throw it on the plate here. And then we're just going to make a quick Alabama white barbecue sauce. And you know what's funny? I grew up in Alabama, and this was kind of a staple for us, but nobody else in the U.S. has really heard of it. So this is why I kind of thought it might be fun to do today. Again, giving our friends to the north some knowledge. So about 2 cups of mayonnaise. Again, if I get some of these proportions off, check the website. We have our recipes there. I've got about a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. About a 1/4 cup of bourbon, half a cup of bourbon. We got a little bit of cayenne pepper, pinch of salt and pepper, a little bit of horseradish, and of course a little Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of lemon juice. And you want this is the deal. You're thinking mayonnaise, right? So you're thinking it's going to be nice and rich and thick. Not necessarily. We're making this into a sauce, guys, all right? So you want this to be a little bit more sauce consistent. So don't think of like super rich and creamy. Just think of it being more of like, your typical Carolina barbecue sauce, which is a little bit more runny, as it were. And I would say I would garnish this with something cool or have some kind of cool side with it. But where I grew up, especially in Alabama or any place that really enjoys barbecue, nobody cares about the sides. They're there for the meat. So that's how we're going to roll with this tonight. Sauce is ready. Super simple. Give it a little bit of attention here. And really, it's more about the sauce than anything. So there we go. And booyah! White Alabama barbecue sauce with whiskey barrel night dry rub cured chicken. Cheers, guys.
Oh,
Cheers.
all
brother.
right.
Looks
Time for me to
delicious.
come up to Michigan. Is Michigan open yet? I need to come up. We're barbecue at Drew's place.
Right? And that's what's great. I live in New York, but I'm in Michigan and loving it. We're here with my in-laws and my wife, and we're actually having a really good time getting to catch up. So I am right up the road, and as soon as this shit reopens, you're on the way up here to have some of this. If you'll bring some of that with you so we can try it together, man.
And then I see you've got a whiskey there. What are you drinking?
So I use Jim Beam in the sauce. I love Jim Beam. It's wonderful to drink, and it's wonderful to cook with. It's a very versatile medium. What I'm actually sipping on is a little long grass from Wild Turkey. I think it's fantastic. I enjoy it, and it's something I always have kind of floating around in liquor cabinet around the house. So, cheers.
It's an underrated whiskey. It's fantastic and great summer whiskey. Nice and smooth, real
Cheers,
rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We all got to drink in hand.
So now, TJ, what do you've got cooking there on his Alabama barbecue?
Well, I thought that this particular recipe would go well with an old fashioned. And since we're doing stuff that's a little bit off the beaten path, number one, this is a whiskey that I don't know if most people would use. This particular bourbon, very high proof here. I've got the Iron Root Harbinger, which is a really nice, really bold whiskey that your taste buds are not going to forget right away, which is why I think that it'll cut really well for an old fashioned, which is what I've mixed up here. It is ready to go. But because this is a barbecue and because that's the theme, my secret ingredient to this particular recipe is my handy dandy liquid smoke. So I don't know how well that comes across the camera there. Yeah, my liquid smoke here. And now there's my old fashioned. It's a little bit cloudier than I would normally do, but that's because I used brown sugar instead of white sugar cubes like a traditional recipe would. All it needs now is a little bit of an orange twist.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So we got some real southern sweetness down in here. And there we go, gentlemen. There is my Sweet Home Alabama Southern Old Fashioned for you, Drew. How about that?
Ooh.
Loving it, brother. That's
Cheers.
delicious.
All right, Drew. Despite what you said, we're gonna have to invite TJ. We got to invite him after a cocktail like that. All right, TJ.
Thank you. And you know what? I was fine to stay in New York, but now I'm going to be writing my senators to open up again so I can travel to you, Drew.
All right, fine. If you're gonna compliment the chef that way, I guess you can come too. But bring.
So what we're gonna do?
We'll do.
So we took the. I'm gonna take the barbecue and looking for and to follow back for a moment that Belle Blair, man, the scotch on this recipe was just fantastic. And if I were to follow with that scotch theme on the barbecue, we all know that a peated whiskey would fit real nice, but we're going to talk about barbecue sauces in depth next week on the next one. So I'm going to pull that rabbit out of the hat later with just a little bit of tease. Lots of fantastic smoked scotches and peated scotches to fall back on there. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back home and get some good solid bourbon. And what we did was we got the Woodford Double Oak, which I love talking about scotches. It's a great when a scotch person says introduce me to a bourbon, then I go with the Double Oak. You get a little bit more wood influence, big and rich, and to match with Drew's barbecue, definitely fall back. This is a fantastic. You can get it anywhere. It's a good price point. You take Woodford and just add that little bit more oaky, a little bit more rich wooden flavor, and big bold scotch to go with Drew's big bold chicken dish.
Love it.
Sometimes you forget how good some of the old favorites are. So TJ, Drew, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We've got our
Dave.
classic bourbon chicken that has been with us at all the events for about the last 4 or 5 years. We've got Drew's new bourbon chicken dish, which I cannot wait to taste. And we will have that new dish in New York and Tampa, whenever they're going to be. Hopefully sooner than later, but again, everybody's safety, everybody's comfort level concerned. We'll be there when we're ready to be there. Definitely New York and Tampa will be this year. When everything is good, we all got the all clear, when Drew can come visit us down in Tampa, when I can come out to New York, and when you all can come and taste the final end result of everyone's hard work. So until then, Drew, thank you very much. I need that chicken recipe. We'll have that up on the website too, right? You sent that over?
It's good. Yeah, it's ready to go for sure.
And-
You guys can go out there and try it.
TJ, is there any way that we can get your whiskey smash and your old fashioned with some added bonus on there? Can we get those recipes when you get a chance? We'll put
You just
those
said the magic words. You just said the magic words. Absolutely. Happy to
Please.
share.
Absolutely. And then it's whiskeyandbarrelnight.com. Yes, I know it's NITE. It was something from an old friend, and we had to be difficult. We had to be different. But it's whiskeyandbarrelnight.com. New York and Tampa, we're going to roll into when it's safe. And we're still going to have, hopefully, knock on wood, our whole fall schedule. And hopefully we'll see you there. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Be well. Be safe.
Yeah.